Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's show is a very special one. I'm bringing back my daughter, DGT, Dead Girl Talking. What's the story tonight, DGT?
The Little Girl Ghost.
Let's get straight into that.
My ghostly encounter took place about 10 years ago, but it's still vivid in my mind as if it took place yesterday. I hope you'll find it as spooky as I do. I was married to my ex-husband for about 2 years when we rented a small house one street over from my parents' house that I grew up in. The house had always been rental as long as I could remember. There were several kids on that street that my sister and I played with as kids, but we never knew anyone that lived in that particular house because it seemed like they moved in and out a lot. I never thought about it much until I lived there. I think I now know why. Strange things started to happening around the same night as we moved in. We packed and moved all day and we was exhausted, so we went to bed as soon as we could get to the house, barely organised enough to walk through it. As soon as we turned the lights out and got in bed, we talked for a minute or two and said goodnight. That was when the stereo came on by itself. I didn't think anything about it because it was an old stereo that someone had given us, and I thought it would just be an electrical problem or something. So I got out of bed and turned it off. We laughed about it for a minute, and my husband jokingly said, "Oh no, we've got a ghost or something." Well, I didn't believe in ghosts, so I laughed it off. Then the stereo came back on. My husband said, "Just unplug it. I'll fix it tomorrow." So I got out of bed and unplugged it and got back into bed. It came back on as soon as I got back into bed. He said, "I told you to unplug it." I said, "I did." But he didn't believe me, so he got out of bed, and sure enough, it was unplugged. That was when he started getting freaked out. He started saying we had a ghost, but of course I still didn't believe it. He had some strange experiences as a child, so he was really scared. He told me to talk to the ghost and tell it to stop. So I played along and started talking to the so-called ghost. I told it that we were really tired and we really needed to get some sleep, and I asked if it could please turn the stereo off so that we could get to sleep. And the stereo turned off. We slept with the hallway lights on every night so that we lived in the house. He would not go to sleep without the hallway lights on. There are a lot more things that happened too. Things were always disappearing. We could leave and come back and smell like something like perfume or flowers really strong. When we went back at bed at night, we could hear cabinets in the bathroom opening and closing. We also heard what sounded like someone running around in our bedroom and pushed up down the hallway. A couple of times I got out of bed during the night to go to the bathroom, and I got pushed down. That is the closest it came to hurting anyone, but it didn't seem like for me some reason. This went on about for 6 months, and I didn't want it to believe that it was a ghost, and I was afraid to tell anyone because I thought they would call me crazy. But my husband was terrified of it. We would wake up in the morning and all the kitchen cabinets would be wide open. The water faucets would just go on all by themselves. The lights would go off and on while we were watching TV. The night I finally believed it was when I saw it. We were up late. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning, and we was in the living room playing music. I was sitting on the couch, and to my left down the hallway, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. I tried to start telling him what I had seen, but he wouldn't let me. He didn't want to hear it. He was that scared. About an hour later, we went to bed with the hallway light on and our bedroom door cracked open a little, as usual. We had just laid down, and maybe a minute later my husband bolted up out of bed and ran and opened the bedroom door. He was white as a sheet and shaking and told me what he had seen too. So when he described it to me, it was exactly the same thing I had seen earlier. We both thought it was a little girl, about 4 or 5 years old, with a reddish blonde hair, wearing a white nightgown. And after that night, when we both saw her, nothing ever happened in that house again. We lived there for about 4 more months, and we never saw or heard anything again. I guess after we saw her, it wasn't fun for her to taunt us anymore.
Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Absolutely beautifully read by DGT once again. We can't thank you guys enough for the nice comments and feedback you give us all the time. Please do like, share and comment. And remember guys, be safe.
Not sorry.